Welcome to the Street News Now Noon Report. Every Wednesday at this time, we come to you live from Street News Now. And my name is Lee Michaels, and my co host here is Dr. Ron. He's not just a regular doctor, he's a doctor. What's up, Ron?
How you doing, my brother?
I'm, I'm
From,
alive.
from the Chicago office of Street News Now,
That's
I'm
right.
glad to be here to talk about headlines today. I think we got some good ones.
Oh, man. It's been a busy last 4 or 5 days, and
Absolutely.
we've lost some superstars, Roberta Flack, Jerry Butler, and Chris Jasper, and three in the music business that are icons. Chris with the Isley Brothers for many years, and Jerry Butler, the Iceman. He needs no introduction. And the same thing with Roberta Flack. Roberta, I met several times over the years, and Jerry, I actually worked for his music company as a promoter for a short period of time.
Hmm.
Tom Records. It was owned by Jerry and
Curtis Mayfield.
Curtis Mayfield. That's right.
Yep.
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 And he's a wonderful guy.
Yeah.
Wonderful guy. He was a Chicago commissioner, a Cook County
Cook County
commissioner.
Commissioner. Yes, he was
Hmm.
also elected many years as a Cook County Commissioner on the county board. And I too have worked with Jerry Butler. He was such a smooth, old school dude,
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember, you know, um, one of the last times I saw him was at a funeral. Actually,
Hmm.
he was a Mason, and he also was, on the um, as as a Mason, he was on the committee that used to perform burial rituals for Masonic people that were part of being consistory and part of different organizations. So
Hmm.
he would show up as part of the committee. Prince Hall Masons will come together and honor their departed brothers. So he was part of that. So he
Hmm.
was a real down to earth person
Yes,
you know,
yes.
and real smooth, real smooth. I
Yeah,
mean, they didn't call him the Ice Man for nothing. I
that's
mean, he
right.
was
He
smooth.
was cool as a cucumber, as they all
Yeah,
say. Yeah,
and original member of the Impressions.
that's right.
He started out as with Curtis Mayfield and Jerry Butler. Now help me out here because you older than me. Now, were they four members of the Impressions or just three members of the
I
Impressions?
think it was three at one point, and then I think there was four. It may have been four early on, and I think
Hmm.
it whittled down to three. I want to say maybe when Jerry left, it went down to three.
Hmm.
I'm not 100% sure. Like you said, I'm old. So I would
Yeah.
have to ask my sister, who's 10 years older than me. That was her
Okay.
era of music, actually,
Yeah. Yeah.
Miss B. But yeah, she would probably know that because she grew up with Frankie Lyman and that era and the Impressions and the
Yeah.
Platters. I heard the music in the house because I had two older sisters. One was 10 years old, the other was 9 years older. And my mom, she would go back to the Arthur Prysox and,
Woo.
that
That's
era.
way back.
Yeah,
Arthur
right.
Prysock. Yeah. I heard that name before.
I'm sure you have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was a cool crooner as well.
Yes. Yes. And
Nat King Cole and Sam
yeah.
Cooke.
And those guys, man, they were like you said, crooners.
Yeah,
They were very much. They could flat foot sing. I mean, flat
every day
sing.
at a drop of a hat.
Yeah, and you know, I think they were part of that era that created the doo-wop groups, as if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Those guys didn't even need no music. They
Right.
would just straight up just sing,
Yep.
flat foot, a cappella singing, you
Stand
know.
on the street corner and
Yeah,
let it rip.
absolutely.
Yeah, man.
So, he definitely will be missed as a activist, civil rights
Mhm.
activist as well.
Yep.
He and Curtis Mayfield both wrote a lot of civil rights, politically motivated music. When
Yeah,
what they did, was to bring consciousness,
exactly.
to the world, as a leader. And then he got involved in politics, and I think his wife passed away not too long ago. And Jerry, as an entertainer,
Yeah.
a nice guy you don't mind working with, because there was some folks in the Chicago that you didn't want to work with. I'm just gonna tell you, Lou Rawls, if you got that Budweiser tour, you did not want to work with Lou Rawls, because he was a spokesperson for
Right.
Budweiser for
Budweiser. Yep.
many, many, many decades.
Yep.
And I tell you, if you walked in the ballroom and saw Lou Rawls, I'm like, okay, I got to go do something else. I don't even want to be in here to see the show. Now the boy could sing now.
Yeah, he was tough to work with, huh?
Boy, I'm telling you, Lou Rawls wasn't nothing nice. And Roberta Flack, 88 years old, she just passed away on yesterday. Beautiful spirit, beautiful person.
Mhm.
She worked with so many people. We were talking about this on, yesterday, how she just worked duets, with so many people that were just, man, she just owes they owe her their career
Mhm.
to her. One big name that we talked about yesterday was Luther Vandross.
Yeah.
Lu- you-
He
Lu-
did backgrounds
yes,
for
he did. He did that.
Mhm.
He did background, and she fired him. Did you know that?
Yeah, well, I didn't know that until yesterday when you shared
Yeah,
that with me.
yeah. He told the story how, and I saw the clip yesterday.
Mhm.
She was off doing something, and she told him to lead the sound check.
Mhm.
So he's up there running down her list of songs that she does.
Right.
And when the lights came up, because they were doing lights and sound check, and when the lights came
Right.
up, Roberta Flack was sitting in the audience listening to him.
Uh-huh.
And I said, "Okay, you fired. You need to have your own band. You need to go get your band and go
Time to
do
move
some
on.
stuff. Yeah, because you just too comfortable in the background over here, and you need to get on out of here."
Mhm.
You know?
Sometimes you need that kind of push in your career when professionals see that you are ready and you have
Mhm.
something to bring that's unique to the game. And I think that's what she saw in him. She said, "You know what? You're a great background singer. I love you and all of that, but you've got too much going for you and you need to go on and step out and get out on your own." So I
Absolutely.
admire her giving him that kind of advice because she wasn't wrong.
No,
She was
she
point
wasn't.
on.
Yeah. Yeah, and like you pointed out yesterday, Luther had did background for so many people,
Yep.
in
And a
his
lot of
career.
commercials as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah. You
Yep.
know, Outstanding, great people, and like you said, Chris Jasper. I remember when he broke out on his own, was doing Jasper Isley Jasper, or
Hmm.
outstanding singer with the Isley brothers.
Yep.
You had to tell me yesterday. I thought he was one of the family.
I don't think he may have been married into the family or something like that, but his last name was not Isley.
Right.
And he played keyboard. You remember that he had
Right.
the
He had
keyboard with the strap?
yeah, the strap
Yeah.
where he played
But he
in
was
the
also a
band.
guitar player.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And very talented. I got a chance to meet him back in the day, back in when I was working for 99X, which was a top 40 station in New York in 1975. That's where I met him one on one. and we used to hang out a little bit, chasing some girls around. But yeah, he was a good guy,
Yeah, yeah,
and so were the Isley brothers. They were they
right,
were they were
absolutely,
characters. Yeah,
all of them. Yeah, they
yeah,
were all cool. I've worked with them before
yeah.
as well, and, real smooth, real cool, no high stress gig.
Hmm.
They show up, man, long as the check was good, they would go out on stage and
Yeah,
do their job like it was no problem. They leave it all on the stage, man,
that's right.
all of
That's
'em.
right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Chris' career didn't run as long as when he broke away from the Isley Brothers per se. But he wrote some good music. He was also a writer of a lot of their hit songs for the Isley Brothers. Yep,
Hmm. I
yep.
think his first song, when he went out on his own, was that the Caravan of Love. I know that was one of the more notable ones, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Once again, you're older than me, so I don't remember all that stuff.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, you know, I got to give credit where credit is due. Roland Martin,
Hmm.
we don't talk about him, as much, but he has his own podcast. I think it's Radio One, I think it's called, or something,
No,
Media
he's not
One.
with Radio One anymore. He has his
Yeah,
own
Media
network,
One. Yeah, something like that. Roland Martin, Media One, or whatever. But he
Black
made a
Stars Network,
yeah,
that he
he made
owns.
he made a very um profound statement,
Hmm.
on yesterday or the day before when he was talking about Joy Reid. We all know that Joy Reid is no longer, as of this past weekend or whatever, with MSNBC.
Right.
And he was pointing out the fact that, and he's been with many, networks himself, CNN and a couple other places.
Right.
And he pointed out a very important something that we all in media need to think about, take a step back and make sure we understand what we're involved in.
Hmm.
And he pointed out that Joy Reid does not own the network in which she was employed with. And the fact that they own the network, they can, change things around like they want to. They just recently changed who their executive director is, and they're going in a different direction
Hmm.
on how their programming is going. And Joy, being one of the more popular African American, black, colored, whatever you go by this week, you know, media personality. She started out with them, and she had performed well doing weekend shows, nightly shows, and now they decided to go in a different direction.
That
It's
happens
not,
all the time.
yeah, and believe it or not, um, people are, quote unquote, that are critical of the orange-haired orangutan. They're trying to push back from.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't want to, incur the wrath thereof. But one of the things that Roland was saying is that we need to control our own media. And that's the part
True.
that really stood out. The fact that you don't own your media, they can get rid of you whenever they get ready, because they have all of the power to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And now, one thing, let me jump in here, shameless plug. We own our media at Street News Now. Okay,
Right.
just letting y'all know, shameless plug.
No. Yeah. No shame in that game. That's why
Yeah,
we're doing it, because we don't want to be a part of some corporate, privately held or publicly.
right.
I've worked with a lot of different companies, and the reason we started this network is because we wanted the independence and to be allowed to do the type of programming we feel is necessary for our community. And when you work for an ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, Fox, or any of the others, you don't own it. You have a show. And many times you don't end up owning the name of the show.
Absolutely.
So even though, and I don't know the particulars about the contract or the arrangement that Joy had with MSNBC, but they may have owned what was it called, the Read Report
Yeah, something
or
like
Read Out.
yeah.
And I knew her before she went to MSNBC. She worked for Radio One, a station down in Florida, the Miami area. It was a talk format, and she was a part of a morning show with Andre Egliston. It was her and Andre were the host of the show. So I know her from that. Her first broadcast was on that station, and we found her from her podcast. Okay, and we thought she was a good writer, and she could frame up a good argument and in her podcast, and that's how she became a part of that morning show. And she's highly educated, graduate of Harvard University. I think she has an African or Caribbean heritage, and that's what I know of her. And then she, after we sold that station, then everybody obviously had to go in their different directions, and she ended up on MSNBC and had a nice run for what, 10 years or better.
Yeah. Yeah. She has several
So
different time slots.
yeah,
They talked about it. And I'm going to encourage people because, Roland had a very valid point about owning our own media, and he used
well,
a couple of different analogies to explain ownership versus,
having a
being just
job,
a star, right?
right?
Being a star on a network. And he also pointed out the fact that until we have control, like people don't even give you credit. Like people won't give us credit for being here in Street News Now, doing what we do, even though we've had some powerhouse personalities on with us when we did the Six Guys and You show.
Hmm.
We've had some very credible, personalities, and people enjoyed what we did when we were doing it on the evening, and now we're doing the noon report. But we own everything that we do. We have
Right.
creative content to be able to do what we want to do. Now, if we were at a CNN or MSNBC, we wouldn't be able to do these things. You
Yeah,
know,
because you have to worry about the corporate image and the
absolutely,
dictate from corporate whoever whatever company you're working for, that
absolutely,
you have to fulfill their mission and appease the advertisers.
absolutely.
So
No,
here's my prediction, and I think Roland Martin is 100% correct in that analogy of owning your own media, because for the most part there aren't enough jobs for people of color,
absolutely,
black or Hispanic, even Asian. There aren't a lot of networks that have jobs, and jobs are being deleted, removed
mhm,
because of AI and automation and syndication and all of it. I could go on for 2 hours on that. But the problem is the number of opportunities are just not there. What
right.
I would suggest, and another person who just lost his job was from NBC. What's his
That's
name?
the hope.
Lester Holt.
Yep.
So
He quit though.
he
Let's quit.
quit.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he
What
resigned.
was the reason for quitting?
He said he was going to continue doing one of the shows that he does with them, but the nightly news report he stepped down from.
Okay.
You know,
Well,
yeah,
I hope it was his choice
right.
because
It
he's
was
been
his
there a long
choice.
time and
Yep,
and
yep,
all
yep.
that.
And anchor on NBC nightly news. Usually 5:30 Central Time, nationwide. You know,
Yep. But here's the thing. Joy just lost her job. Who's who's going to pick her up? Is she going to go to CNN or News Nation? She's not going to go to Fox. They're not going to hire her. Or any of the other right wing leaning cable networks or live streaming. They're not going to do it. It's just not going to happen. So really, and I don't know what her contract dictates in terms of, whether she has to, if they're going to pay her for X amount of time, if she had some time left on her contract. Typically, with those kind of deals, if she had a 5-year deal and it was 2 years left on it, they, in most cases, are obligated to pay that 2-year period. But during that time, you are blocked out of being able to go somewhere else. Typically, it may not be in her particular situation. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But typically, that's the way that works. Now, if that's the case, then she's got to sit on the beach for a significant period of time without going to another network like an ABC or whatever. So, and again, it
Ain't a
depends on the
bad deal.
contract.
Which ain't a bad deal, you know.
Well, it ain't, but who wants to sit on the beach even though you're getting paid?
Yeah.
If you have a passion and love for what you're doing, you still want to do it.
Okay.
So that's kind of a, hit or miss there.
Yeah.
But I don't know the language in her contract, but it may be something in there even for social media that you may
Right.
not be able to do. Now,
Right.
any attorney, entertainment attorney, allow that language to be in a contract, I think they should be fired and you shouldn't pay them because I just think that's
Right.
overreaching too much. So I hope that she can do that, and I would encourage her to start her own live stream, podcast, whatever, and just keep rocking. And she'll have complete freedom to do what she wants to do and not worry about a corporate dictate. I said, well,
Right.
no,
Right.
like we have a new president now, so we have to kind of lean towards the right because, that's the majority of his audience, and we don't want to piss him off and become another, AP, Associated Press, where he may bar us from his public meetings and what have you. So we have to be cool. And those things, folks, I'm telling you, I've been in those board meetings as vice president of programming for radio networks and what have you. These are the kind of conversations that are had, and they make it very plain to you. Hey, we can't do that because we can't lose this advertiser and this advertiser because they're important to the revenue
Money.
and the
Yeah.
and the growth of this network.
Yeah.
So now I encourage anyone who's in the broadcast media who happens to be a minority, make sure that this option that we're doing right now is in your favor. Do not sign a contract that limits you from, first of all, owning your name, number one. Number two, don't limit you to have the ability to do some social media aside from your network job. And if you get blown out, that you should not wait 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, a year to keep your presence in front of the people because you're only as hot as your last hit. If
Yep.
your last hit was 10 years ago, you're oldie but goodie.
Yeah.
So jump back on the horse and ride like you've been doing it every day. When you look at Don Lemon. Don Lemon has almost 600,000 subscribers on YouTube. I haven't checked his other social media platforms, but he hit the ground rolling. He took a little break there for a while, but he's doing his thing now, and
Yeah.
I appreciate what he's doing. I hope that Joy will step out there, and at some point in time, maybe that Joy Reid, a Lester Holt, a Don Lemon, uh, Roland Martin, and many others might even put their efforts together and create a minority-owned live thing on the internet. Why not? If it makes sense.
Right.
If not, keep doing your thing, alone and grow your entity.
Yeah.
And if you grow your own entity, open up the doors for others use that as a breeding ground for new talent.
Yeah.
That's why we kind of started Street News. Now, I would love to work with some young people coming out of college and just got their journalist credentials or degrees or whatever. Or if you don't have a degree and just talented, you're sharp. And
Mm.
I see and hear a lot of people on various social media platforms, whether it's TikTok or YouTube or Facebook or Instagram and others that are sharp, hosts that have some potential. And some of them need some coaching, some guidance, give them some encouragement and direction. And if they're willing to listen, they can grow. They can be the next, Roland Martin or Don Lemon. And the opportunity is here now. When
Absolutely.
I started in 1965, ladies and gentlemen, there was no internet. There was nothing like that. You either got on an AM station, an FM station, or a TV station. And for people that look like us, there weren't many
Not
opportunities.
really.
Not at all. There,
Yeah.
I don't even think it was 100 black-owned radio stations in America. I know it wasn't in 1965. I know for a fact there were not 100 black-owned radio stations.
Yeah. I
It just
told you
wasn't.
you was old. I told you you was old.
I'm beyond.
Yeah.
But
Look.
it's the
Go ahead.
time is now.
Yeah. Let me give a quick shout out. Corey says, "Howdy, gentlemen." Full Body Frequency says, "Hi, Lee and Dr. Ryan. I just wanted to shout them out. I saw them over there in the chat comment section there. So
Absolutely.
thank you for tuning in."
And ladies and gentlemen, Corey Halstead is my baby boy. That's my
Yep.
baby boy. He's in Denver, Colorado, freezing his butt off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what your baby
that's my
mama
boy.
said, that you the daddy. You
That's
know.
right. Well, and
Yeah.
hey, look, and I take 100% ownership of it.
There you go.
That's my
Yeah.
boy, my baby boy.
Yeah.
I got another son that's almost as old as you.
Almost. Okay.
He's in his 50s.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The House passes a massive tax cuts. They have been working on, since the megas control the House and the Senate. They have been working on all of this Doge, cuts in every agency, trying to cut funds in every possible way they possibly can, to help with government overspending and oversight and things like that. So they have passed, the House passes a massive tax cuts. Now, what did they have to get rid of in order to get there? That's the question. What did they have to get rid of in order to get to massive cuts? Okay. Now, it's got to go to the Senate, of course, and it's got to be exactly the same bill when the Senate passes it as it is when the House passed it. So we'll see what happens by the time it gets to the Senate.
Now, where
But
are these cuts? I mean, you say tax cuts on what? Is that
that's why I say,
income?
what did they get rid of in order to be able
No, I
to
don't
get
even care what they got rid of. What are the tax cuts? I mean, what are you reducing taxes on? Is it income? Is it on property? I mean, what is that? And as far as I'm concerned, anything that Doge has come up with, as far as I'm concerned, it's not legit. It hasn't been proven. Has anyone seen one document of any of their claims where they said, "Well, we found $10 billion worth of misuse over here"? Show me the paperwork. Show me the evidence. And then we've caught them in lies. They misrepresented certain things. They're saying that there are people that are 120 years old that still getting Social Security. That's a damn lie.
right.
The computer system is antiquated. They're using a language called COBOL,
Yep.
which is not a language that's used in computer programming today, but that's what the government computers are still running on. And they have dates of people went back into the 1880s. So if you're just doing a basic search about How many people who have collected Social Security forever, then yeah, people who were born in 1880 are going to show up. But that's not an accurate number. A 150-year-old person, there's nobody in the world that I know of is 150 years old and still alive.
Yeah.
So it's bullshit. But you got these young punk ass kids that he's sending in there. They don't have the sense or the knowledge or the historical knowledge about how computer programming was done. What they need to do is get rid of that old system. You remember 2000 when everybody was saying, freaking out that the computer system was going to shut down and the banks were going to be out of business and
Yep.
whoop de whoop de. Well, it didn't happen. They brought some old COBOL programmers out of retirement to go in and make sure that the system wasn't going to crash.
Right.
Well, they need to bring those guys back in now and work with some new programmers and convert that data from the old COBOL database to some SQL Server database that are prevalent today and based on cloud and all that. So the government system or systems need to be updated. That's where we need to be spending some money, okay? Not cutting, Social Security and Medicare, Medicaid, and all that. You fuck with my money, I'm telling you, I'm going to be the angry black man in front of the Capitol building, the White House, and everywhere else because I earned my money. I loaned it to the government, and I expect a return on my investment. Okay? I'm collecting my Medicare and Social Security. Don't fuck with my money. I'm
Yeah.
telling you that right now. And there's a lot of old people like me that rely on that money. That's money that we earned, okay? And we expect it to be there when we need it and want it. Whether it's at
Absolutely.
62, 65, 67, 68, whenever I want to take it, it needs to be there. It's your damn job to protect that investment. Don't mess with the money. The seniors rely on that. We earned it. We gave a loan. You took money out of our paychecks for years. And the deal was when I'm ready to get it, whether I'm taking it early or later, it needs to be there. Don't fuck with the old people's money because there's going to be a brigade of wheelchairs out there in front of the Capitol building protesting. And we have that right. And
Absolutely.
we shouldn't have to do that. Okay, right behind me, there's two chairs, the House and the Senate. There are empty chairs back there, right? As far as I'm concerned, that's what's happening in Washington, D.C. Empty chairs because you're not doing the job that you were sent there to do, and that's to protect the people. Not you, not your party, none of that. You work for us. And I'm telling you right now, I see a tremendous wave coming in 2026, okay? A big change because I don't think the Republicans are smart enough, number one, or give a damn, number two, or willing to do the right thing for the people. And I could go on and on and on about that because it's become a very private entity
Yep.
about protecting their own self-interest, making 200,000, 175,000, whatever they're making in the House and the Senate. And most of them are worth tens of millions of dollars. I've made more than $1 million a year. I don't have $20 million in the bank. Okay? I'm telling you right now, it's no way the numbers, the math does not work when you're making $175,000 or $200,000 a year for 10 years, 15 years, or 20 years. Can you legitimately have 20, 30, or $40 million in your bank account without some type of insider trading, sideline deals, handshakes, lobbyists?
They call that the American way.
It's called payola.
Right, the American way. Well,
Okay.
they
If I
had
took
the same thing.
$100 to play a record back in the day
I
on the
was just
radio,
getting ready to say that. Yeah,
they'd lock my ass up.
yeah,
Okay,
they
so
coming knocking on your
boom,
door.
boom.
Yep, yep, and that's what happened. There's a lot of that going on in politics. It's been going on and it hasn't stopped going on, and it's going to continue to go on
Hmm.
because, like I said, that's the American way. I want to give this. You and I were talking about this yesterday. You were going through the grocery store and you were talking about $15 a dozen eggs,
Yep.
and the profits are up on eggs so high that now the Democrats have put an investigative committee together to find out why the eggs are so high. They've been profiteering off of these eggs, wiping people out. Now I understand, I get it. A bunch of bird flu went through all the chicken farms, and they lost a lot of product. But at the end of the day, somebody's is making a whole bunch of money off of these eggs.
Yeah, yeah, it's a damn shame. I mean, even in other products, the cost of chicken itself, per pound is crazy. Ground beef, steaks, shrimp, everything in the damn stores are just crazy. A bag of chips, $6, man, 5.99 or sometimes more. A bag of chips? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
What is it like 6, 7, 8? Now I don't even think maybe 10 ounces of potato chips.
No, ain't no 10 ounces.
I was just
Mo-
saying for
Most of it is air.
$6.
You know,
Yeah,
most of it is
the
air.
bag is
Yeah.
half empty. Big ass bag and it's half empty.
Right.
So, yeah, there needs to be some oversight, some regulation, and bring these corporate greedy bastards into check. Listen, I understand. We all want to make money, and you can make money without gouging. It's like the president of Kroger Industries admitted months ago, even under the Biden administration, that they were gouging. They said, "Yeah, we're inflating the prices. Yeah, we are. We are. We're doing that." Well, they should have been shut down. There has to be some type of regulations to keep people from taking advantage of the people. That's just wrong. In the oil industry, these oil companies, ExxonMobil, billions of dollars in profit every quarter,
Yep.
not a year, quarter. We're talking about 10, 20, 15, 30 billion dollars in profit. And at the same time, I'm paying $4.49 for a gallon of gas in Los Angeles. Now I know in some areas that you lucky son of a guns are paying, $3 or maybe a little bit less. But I'm just telling you what I'm paying here in LA. The cheapest gas right now is about $4.15. Regular gas, not
Yep.
premium. I don't even want to talk about that. I saw a Shell station last night in Beverly Hills. The premium gas was $5.89.
Yeah. But you know what they say, if you have to ask how much it costs, you can't afford it.
Well, that's horseshit. Yeah, we ain't buying damn Ferraris and and Lamborghinis and Rolls Royces and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got you.
man. We're talking survival level
Yeah, 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 yeah,
overpricing.
yeah,
Period.
yeah. Shout out to Chris Bates, my brother in broadcasting. He said, "Great information, Lee and Dr. Ron. Let your voice be heard." You're right, Lee. The time is now. Thank you for
We
tuning
have to.
in, my
We
brother.
have to stand up and push back and
Yeah,
demand some relief
yeah, yeah.
and get rid of these billionaires in the government. And I'll say it again,
That ain't
and
gonna.
I'll say it every damn week if we have this show. It. Why would any billionaire take a job, a government job? Why? They want access to the information, the relationships, and more importantly, the money. How can I get inside the government that has all the money in the world? How can I get more through my insider involvement? Having Elon Musk, who has already received $21 billion in contracts over the last, what, 10 years or whatever. And right now, this investigation that he's doing is costing millions of dollars a day.
Right.
So where's the damn savings coming from? If you got these clowns going in, disrupting the government operation, costing millions of dollars a day, where's the savings?
Yeah.
Okay, there's another way that this audit could have been done without a billion. The richest man in the world, who gave over $277 million to the Trump campaign, he bought his position.
Mm-hmm.
And Trump has to get down on bended knee and kiss his ass because he needed to win. He had to win. If he did not, he was going to jail or be destroyed for the rest of his life. Credibility would have been completely erased. He
Absolutely.
shouldn't have any now. I mean, he's done enough.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. You got 13 billionaires in your cabinet. What? What do they give a damn about a dozen of eggs or the cost of gas? How many of them even go to the grocery store or go to a mall? They've got people that do that for them. They got handlers. They got stylists. They got people that go do grocery shopping for them.
Yep.
It doesn't matter to them. If eggs were $20 a dozen, it won't affect their lifestyle.
Nope.
It just won't.
Not at all.
So why do we keep putting people who don't give a damn about your survival in power?
Look,
I'd
we
rather
didn't
have
do that.
Joe
Look,
Schmo.
look, we didn't do that. Just for the record, we did not do that. That ain't
Well,
a
that's
black
true. I
person.
damn sure didn't
That ain't
vote.
an African American, and it ain't a colored person nowhere near an office or cabinet position or any of that. Okay, so let's just keep it real. We didn't do that. Okay, we are victims of once again of a bureaucracy that's all about saving their own self some more money. Okay,
And
so
they
let me
and
just
the,
say that.
right.
Okay.
And the people that voted for Trump, you
Hmm.
were lied to.
Yeah.
Okay, he said on day one he's going to stop the war in the Ukraine. Now he's saying Ukraine started the war.
Right.
He said he was going to have gas to $2 and eggs at $1 a dozen. That hasn't happened.
Right.
He was going to cut the cost of living for everybody. He's going to cut taxes. He hasn't done any of that shit.
Because he can't.
None. The
Because he
things,
lied.
all these executive orders don't have anything to do with what he ran on. And you bought the okie You stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. Picked
You
up a
bought the
few.
lies
Yeah,
again.
picked up a few Colombians and threw them on an airplane and shipped them back to Colombia. Trying to make himself look like he's a thug or a bully or a gangster, which he's none of that. You know.
Well, he's whatever he wants to be because we allow him to get away with it.
Absolutely.
And I use that word "we" very loosely. Y'all that voted for him, and the Republicans in the House and the Senate, you guys are so stupid. I have no respect for you. The
Absolutely.
last time the Republicans did the right thing was when they went into Richard Nixon when he was all jammed up with Watergate, and they said, "Mr. President, you're going to have to resign,
Right.
or we're going to start impeachment tomorrow."
Right.
They had balls.
Yep.
They put the right thing over party politics. Okay, that's the
Absolutely.
last time the Republicans did the right thing.
Yeah.
They will shield, they will protect, and look the other way on all the other criminal shit that's been going on since then to save their own best interests, to
Yep.
keep themselves in power. They don't care about you.
Nope. That's
Like Michael
a fact.
Jackson said, they don't care about us.
That's true.
They're not like us.
Nope. They not.
They don't give a damn. And the voting public needs to wake up and smell the coffee. And let me just say this. If you don't, you're going to witness the fastest and the most devastating downfall of the United States of America because we're on our way to having a dictator. Is
Yeah.
that what you want? You think Donald Trump is the smartest motherfucker in the world? He's not. He is not. Look at all the failures he's had. Okay? He is not a smart businessman. He's failed over and over again. He's
Yep.
had more bankruptcies than everybody that I know. He
Yep.
doesn't care about the average person, just himself and other people who he can con. He can't get a bank loan in America because he's already screwed all the major banks.
Yep.
Why do you think he was going to Russia, North Korea, and all these other places trying to get money from them?
Yep.
Because he's tainted here in America.
Absolutely.
And when he was supposed to be a billionaire, he couldn't come up with $480 million to for. You remember it was he
Yeah.
needed
For bond. Yeah.
yeah. He had to get a loan for that.
Yep.
Come on, man.
Yep.
What part of this don't you understand? That this man is like Mr. Haney in Acres.
Yeah.
Always had a scam.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look,
Yeah.
this is something I have to get out. The last thing for the day. This Friday, there's a boycott nationwide where they are asking all people of color, Black, African American, whatever you go by, to boycott all the major retailers in this country: Amazon, Walmart, Target. Don't spend any money this Friday. Now, I know everybody's heard about it. The texts have been going around. This is something that we can do. We, and I mean we, people of color, African American, Blacks, we are the largest consumers on the planet. So they have organized a 1 day boycott, just 1 day. Don't buy no gas. Don't spend your money on that day. Don't do it. Just don't spend it. Now, I'm sure there's going to be call for many, many more. Like every Wednesday, they calling for people not to go to Walmart, not to go to Target. Every Wednesday, that's a different boycott. But this boycott, they're asking everybody, universally across the country, brown skinned people, everybody, come together and show them what our economic power can do if we hold on to our money for a 24-hour period of time. So,
I think everybody should be involved in that, not
absolutely.
just Americans, because I'm looking back over history. As you very eloquently said, I'm old.
Yes, you are.
I remember during the civil rights era, there were white people that were part of that movement as well.
Absolutely.
And let me just say this to all non African Americans, blacks that are listening to this: join the movement. Once again, you can support this effort as well because everybody's being affected by this, unless you're a billionaire.
Right.
So I encourage everybody, no matter what your ethnic background is, to join this movement on the 28th. Don't spend no money. None. If you have to, find a minority owned business and support them. But don't go buy no mobile gas, Shell, none of that shit. None, zero. Don't go to major stores. You have to show your power, your commitment to your own survival. It's important for everyone to be on this train because that's the only way we're going to bring about change. We have to make enough noise. You don't have to go in and tear up no business. You don't have to do no loud, crazy protests, burn down buildings, none of that shit. Because the recovery on that it's devastating. Many businesses don't come back to your neighborhood again. So I don't support that at all. But your dollars can be very impactful. Use your spending power now. Let's get it done. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
absolutely. That's the
Yeah.
last day of the month. It's only
Yep.
28 days in February, the shortest month of the year, and that's African American History Month, Black History Month.
There you
Shortest
go.
month. But
Absolutely.
listen, we can do this. It's not that
Absolutely.
hard.
Absolutely. So look, I just want to encourage anybody that's interested in joining us, reach out to us, go over to streetnewsnow.com, fill out the form. Somebody in the office will get back in touch with you. They will help work with you. Let's build this network. We own this network. We can make this network happen. Okay. We control everything that's going on, whether you have a show and you like to bring it over for replays, we can do all of that. There's many options here. So I like to encourage you all, join us here. We got plenty of time slots available. Uh-oh, here we go. We finna start something. We got plenty of time slots available here. And I just want to invite you all to come on over and be a part of what we got going on here at Street News Now. We got plenty of slots available, so come on over. Lee just put up a comment from Elliot Polish talking about bankruptcy. I don't know. Did you want to talk about it, Lee, before we get out of here?
No, I thought it was an interesting point that Elliot brought up, so I want to highlight that. And you know, many times businesses use bankruptcy to reorganize and get rid of debt, like iHeartMedia did 5 or 6 years or so ago. They flushed $11 billion in debt, and it's still not profitable. You know what? From the chairman of the board on down, they all need to be fired.
Hmm.
Because how in the hell are you going to get rid of, you were $21 billion in debt. You got rid of more than half. 5, 6, 7 years later, you still not making a profit? Y'all need to close your doors. Go home. Get out of there. Get some real broadcasters in there that know what the hell they're doing and get rid of the investment bankers because y'all are doing nothing but pimping the media. And the next thing that Donald Trump wants to do is to get rid of the Federal Communications Commission. Why? Because he gets rid of the media. He wants to get rid of PBS and all the public networks. He wants to get rid of MSNBC. And maybe some of the changes that they're making over there right now is the pressure from the White House. If he gets rid of the media and take away your First Amendment right, guess what? He can have state-owned media. What does that look like?
Russia.
Russia,
Yeah.
China,
Yeah.
North Korea,
Yeah.
Iran. Come on, folks. Is that where we want to go?
Yeah.
No.
Some people want
If
to
you
go
want to
there.
go that direction, go to one of those other countries and see how they take care of you.
Right.
Go get a taste of that coffee.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, Lee, get us out of here, man. It's time to go.
Right. Well, thank you, folks, for joining us here on the Noon Report. We do this every Wednesday at noon Central Time because that's where Doc lives. For all you mountain goats up in the mountain area, you know what time that is for you. But thank you again for joining us. We really appreciate it. We hope that we can spread some information, some truth that you can grasp and run with, because we're not here to lie and have an agenda other than your agenda, what's good for you, the people. So God bless you. Stay safe, stay warm, stay cool wherever you are. We'll see you again next week at the same time, same place. And God bless. Street News Now, your network.